All right, let's try this again. My last video shut off, um, but there's some other stuff I wanted to talk about real briefly. And first of all, I'd like to speak on. I want to say that the information that I'm sharing is none of it's 100%. You know what I mean? This some of it's literature that I've read and just things that I've experienced throughout my life that gives me the perception I have. Doesn't mean that we're all going to have the same perception. Don't mean everyone's going to agree or disagree. But you know, it is what it is. Um, I want to say that again, this has nothing to do with race. You know, I know I spoke on my last video about slaves or whatnot. We all been a slave. You know, we're all slaves now. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is here nor there. Especially when we all come from one race. You know, one gene, and so I'm past that. You know, and I hope we can all get past that because we have a bigger problem. And the problem is, you know, how we're going to sustain on this earth and without killing it. Um, we're in a cycle. I don't really have the information of what type of how long this cycle lasts or whatever information like that. I just don't have that. But what I would like to say is that when you're talking about the gods, right? This is my opinion. If there was a race on Earth prior to the extraterrestrial getting here or whatever you want to call it. That word is so hard for me to pronounce. But if there was a race already here, right? And so I just feel me with this. There was a race already here, right? It was supposed to be a dark skinned race. And aliens came from another planet or another galaxy, whichever prefer, however it's pronounced or whatever, from another galaxy, and they're interbreeded with the race that was already here, the human race. So they created a hybrid race. Um, who created that race that was already here, right? If if there's another God on another level, which I'm sure there is, and that God, you know, said, okay, if there was a problem in heaven or wherever it may be, and there was a separation of the two, God versus the devil, or Yahweh, whatever you want to call it, Satan, whatever you want to call it, and if Satan or whatever was banished from the stars or whatever galaxy and came to Earth and start interbreeding with the race here. What if the war was about interfering with the race that's already here? And so that being was banished from Earth. And so they ran from one direction to another direction. Some went underground, some whatever, right? Just feel me with this now. It might sound kind of woo woo, but check it out. So what if, that war was that, right? And that's why they say, it's hell on earth, and I have to say this. People try to interpret the devil to be a bad individual or a bad being. I have read literature where they considered the devil to be the bearer of light, um, the bearer of truth, the bearer of knowledge. So what if what Lucifer, the devil, whatever you want to call him, we give it a negative term. It seems negative because that's what we made the name out to be. But so I feel uncomfortable saying it. But let's just say that the devil is not all that bad. What if we was a race of people on this earth that didn't have the knowledge of a lot of things, right? They talk about the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden could be something totally different, right? Garden of knowledge, or just knowledge, period. And so the devil, shared that with the people here on Earth, which, in a sense, would be kind of, detrimental to their being, because now we're going to involve and have more knowledge that could cause a problem. And so let's just say God didn't have that in his plans. And so when the devil was banished from Earth, I mean from whatever galaxy he came from, and was here on Earth, well, he shared this information with the people that was here. And this, this is all speculation, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. And so what if he came here and shared this information with the people here and things like that? And so we evolved, and as we evolved, we kind of got a little bit out ourselves, and the word came with the gods and things like that, with the other gods here on Earth as well. And so they was banished off Earth. I mean, well, off, let's just say the ground level, because a lot of information I've read, they're still here, but they're just not out in the open like that. There's a lot of different monuments that I think contributes to a lot of the stuff that's going on, if we just pay attention, as far as like vortex, energy grids. There's quite a bit that, if you don't know, you just don't know. And my cat ordered me out. So anyway, I just want to say that there's a lot of questions, you know what I'm saying, and I think we all need to stick together and try to figure this out together. I believe, again, I believe our world is coming to a cycle, coming to an end, and everybody is being so selfish and so inconsiderate of the man, or your neighbors, or your families, or your whoever. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to really start focusing on each other, and because it's going to become a time that we're really going to rely on each other. And it's a scary thought, you know what I mean? But I think we need to pay attention to it. We're so occupied with everything else that goes on in this world that we don't focus on the necessity of being, of self, of life. And we need to focus on that. We have a lot of symbolism to a lot of things that goes on in this life that shows that we're not on this earth alone. And my thought process to that is that if you share a place with somebody, okay, and that somebody is a threat to your basically survival instinct, not instinct, but existence, if that's a threat, what would you do? Would you allow that person to stay on that in that space so it can destroy the very life that you have, or would you get rid of it? So, because remember, these beings are much intelligent than we are. I don't care what we think, you know what I'm saying, that we have, but they're way more advanced than we are. So if we share the same planet that they do, and they have the capability to, let me say this, I have always believed the Earth is going to rotate. I have always said this, because when you look at it, they find whale bones and all these type fossils in all these desert, areas and remote areas. That says right there in itself, at one point, that there was water there. When you talk about the biblical sense of the Noah's Ark and the flood, well, what if, it's just a question, but what if the world rotated? You see what I'm saying? That washed everything over, right? And just killed everything in an instant, right? In an instant, whatever, but you understand. What if the world rotated? You know what I'm saying? And what if that's happening again? What if that's getting ready to happen again? With everything that's going on, the volcanic plates and all these different things that's taking place in this world, is giving us a sign like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You all right? So what if just the world just rotated and just boom? You understand? Start all over again. There's places in the sea, there's depths in the sea that man has never been able to visit. And And when you talk about, well, not even talk about, you read some information and they talk about how certain beings back and forth from the sea, right? Land to sea, land to sea. Um, so could you imagine what's in the depths of these seas? Could you know it's probably amazing of what's down there. You know what I mean? And, I spoke about a lot of things that didn't happen in my life. You know what I'm saying? That's unexplainable. And I will never say what couldn't be or what isn't. You couldn't get me to say that not today. You couldn't get me to say it today. What I will say is this. Um, like I said before, this is all new to me, and I don't really know what to expect or what to think. So I'm just giving this my best shot, and I hope everybody can bear with me. And for those that understand, I appreciate you, and please do. If anybody can offer me some type of information on what I'm speaking about, or don't know what I'm speaking about, speak your mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm in for a good conversation, but just be aware and you know I, it's about up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just be 100 about what I think anyway. Um, but anyway, I want to just recap on what I was thinking from earlier, and I hope everybody enjoyed these videos. And like I said, if you have any information that you're willing to share, please do. And I would love to hear about it or like to hear about it. And I'll just leave it at that. All right, till the next video. Y'all stay blessed.